welcome to this 10th annual Daily Mirror visit of the Soviet Union Gymnastics and Sports Acrobatics display team. The squad is packed with Olympic and world gold medalists, and for once, able to relax without the pressures of competition, they can show off the spectacular new routines that they're working on for 1983. In the men's team, there's the established power of Alexander Detyatin and Yuri Korolyev. Leading the women, reigning Olympic champion 20-year-old Elena Davidova, and the new exciting talent, the graceful Olga Bicharova. There's the beautiful new Olympic sport of modern rhythmic gymnastics display with Irina Divina and Dalia Kutkait. And the incredible balance of the men's sports acrobatics team. So, some marvellous gymnastics in prospect. Let's join our commentators at the Wembley Arena, Monica Phelps and John Taylor.
Well, before any gymnastics competition or display can begin, the gymnasts need to warm up. And we're going to see a warm-up routine by 6 of the top Russian girls, led by Natalia Ilyenko, the world floor champion, and Natalia Yurchenko, Elena Davidova, the Olympic champion, Alla Shisheva, Maria Filatova, and the world champion, Olga Bicharova.
Girls demonstrating movements of mobility, gentle warm-up exercises of the wrists and the hips, but in a much more fun way because they're working together as a team and they're normally very individual in their performances. There we see just how a simple movement like a cartwheel ought to be done.
And there are 2 of the great Russian stars, Natalia Ilyenko on our left, the world floor champion, and Elena Davidova, the overall Olympic champion. Ilyenko goes into some simple tumbles, well, simple for her.
And Yurchenko, a similar run. Bicharova, not on her usual competition form, but enjoying it. And Davidova, a little heavier, but still very active.
There's a marvelous combination of the old and the new in Russian gymnastics. There's Ilyenko, Davidova, Filatova, all very established stars. Bicharova, the new world champion, and Yurchenko and Shisheva, 2 of the newcomers who we can look forward to seeing figuring in Russian teams in the next few years.
Tremendous changes in tempo, and their interpretation of the music really is super. The audience enjoyed it, and the girls enjoyed it. Dahlia could kite, only 17 years old, and really heading for fame in this sport of modern rhythmic gymnastics. A very elegant performer. She's actually been competing for the Soviet team for 2 or 3 years, but only recently she's headed for stardom.
We haven't seen too much of this sport on television, but we're going to see a lot more of it because for the first time in 1984, it's going to be included in the Olympics.
In every aspect of their sport, the Russians show just how precise they are and how well their bodies are prepared. And they can cope with every situation, even working in spotlights, catching a hoop. It must be very difficult. It obviously poses no problem to Dahlia.
Dahlia could kite. Beautiful girl and beautiful work. She's certainly going to cause a few hearts to flutter over the next few years.
And from sports acrobatics, in the women's pairs, world champions Ludmila Glatzenova and Svetlana Marchukian. In their recent visit to London, when they won the World Championship, they had to do 3 routines, and this is only one of them, the tempo routine. Assisted double back somersault, some very difficult stuff demonstrated by these girls.
Glazunova, yeah, the base girl, she's got to be strong as well as agile. Wonderful control there.
It's amazing that even though these acrobats aren't quite as frail as the female gymnasts, they manage to retain beauty and elegance in all of their work. And the very difficult Arabian half-twister handstand. Some superb work from the world champions of the women's pairs. Modern rhythmic gymnastics, the only Soviet modern rhythmic gymnast to break through in the challenge from the Bulgarians in the recent World Championships. She actually is world champion with the rope routine. She's now going to show her demonstration with the ribbon. Really showing some beautiful work in this routine. Modern rhythmic gymnasts aren't allowed to do handsprings and agilities. Their main work is with the hand apparatus, be it rope, ribbon or hoop. You see a slightly different physique in all of the modern rhythmic gymnasts because they don't use their upper body much to swing on bars, but they are tremendously strong in the legs because of all the jumping that they have to do, the pirouettes and spins and leaps. Not finishing quite with the music, but Irina Divina showed what a true champion she is because she improvised that routine. The music that she normally works to was lost at the recent European Championship. A newcomer to the Soviet team, she visited Wembley last year in the display, but she's a much improved gymnast. From the same camp as Shapaznikova, coached by Rostorovsky, and showing some very difficult work in this routine. Giant circles, Delchev, copied from men's high bar work. And yet another man's move, a Jaeger somersault. Could this be a future world champion? And a double back somersault dismount. Well, we'll be seeing more of Alashisheva in the Coca-Cola Championship, so we look forward to her in competition then.
Modern rhythmic gymnastics again, and Dalia Kutkait, this time her exercise with the rope. Just how difficult it can be. Almost got herself in a tangle, but got out of it very quickly. The gymnasts in modern rhythmic must keep the apparatus moving. As you see with the rope, they subdivide it and then spin it out. It must at times be at full length and then down there to quarter length. Also show balance when they do their throws and catches and their twirling, but they can do it with either hand. If you go through the routine using only your natural hand, then you'll be penalized in competition by the judges.
Well, that was a most entertaining routine from young Dalia Kutkait.
Yuri Korolyov, the overall world champion, surprised everybody in November '81 by leapfrogging over all his Russian teammates. This his rings exercise. I wonder whether we'll see that triple somersault to finish with. He and Bogdan Makuts, with whom he had a great battle in those championships, both introduced triple somersault dismounts. There, the inverted cross and the great strength moves on the ring. There it is. There's the triple somersault. Well landed too. Obviously in very good shape.
And from that same World Championships, we had Olga Bicherova. And here she is, the cherub of the 1981 World Championships with that same floor routine.
Hard to believe until you study the control that she shows, that this little lass is now 16 years old. Easily through that double tuck back somersault.
These little intricate links in the routines are what the Russians are really famous for. The way they can make such simple movements, leg kicks and pirouettes, look so exciting. And a second double back somersault. Once upon a time we were lucky to see one.
Well, lots more artistic and modern rhythmic gymnastics plus sports acrobatics in just a couple of minutes. Join us then. Welcome back to Wembley, and we rejoin the display with Irina Devina. This time we see her hoop exercise. Each of the pieces of apparatus in modern rhythmic gymnastics requiring different skills. With the hoop, she has to show her dexterity and movement of the hoop both around the body and over and through it, and also throws like that one. She gets tremendous height with her throws, and they require, of course, incredible accuracy. A remarkable gymnast, this young lady. Again, she's performing to music that she only heard for the first time yesterday, her own tapes having been lost, and yet she's managed to time this routine and put it to the music beautifully. Beautiful little flick with her toes there to spin the hoop.
And movement from Irina and the hook from beginning to end. Maria Filatova, now 22 years old, a veteran at this sport. She's been in Olympic, European, World Championships, runner-up in the recent World Championships. A great ambassador to the sport and has been a leader to the team for years. She first performed this routine in the World Championships in Dallas in '79. So she knows every tiny little movement and she's worked it to absolute perfection.
Great stylist, and one of the things that the Russians do very well is keeping their more mature gymnasts in the squad to set an example and teach the younger gymnasts the advantages of style and form.
And only a full twisting back somersault there, but Filatova was in fact one of the first gymnasts ever to do 2 double somersaults in her routine. World champions Gladsenova and Marchukian, this time with their balance routine. The Russians have a super choice of music and they work to the music extremely well, showing balances at correct times.
And the marvelous thing about sports acrobatics is it really does complete the range of gymnastics. We've got the artistic gymnastics where they're working with apparatus, modern rhythmic, where they're working with hand apparatus, and now in sports acrobatics, working not only singly, as in the tumbling, but also in pairs, threes, and teams of four, using the partner as the springboard or as somebody to work in unison with.
It's interesting to see that some of the former stars of artistic gymnastics, one in particular, Svetlana Grozdova, is now quite an interested party in sports acrobatics, and I'm sure we're going to see the interchange between the three aspects of the sport. And how's that for strength? A one-arm planche held on the knee. Almost a kaleidoscope of balances here. The colours of the leotards blending in well with the shapes that the two girls make throughout their different balances. And precise as ever to the very end.
Our world champion women's pair, Lyudmila Gazunova and Svetlana Vygotsyan.
Enraptured with this display. In fact, she's probably not much smaller than little Olga Bicharova, the world champion, who's only 4 feet 6.
Olga obviously not doing her full competition routine. Nevertheless, demonstrating her skill in being able to balance and even work to music.
A clever pianist too, speeding up and slowing down to keep with the routine. This, of course, only would happen in a display.
Straight back somersault, but only just to land. That leg flying up in the air just kept her balance. I think Olga prefers to stay on the beam than to take any risks. Other than that, risky dismount, still an Arab Spring double back somersault, not quite spotted, but still high. The very elegant modern rhythmic gymnast who we saw earlier, now performing her ribbon routine. The stature of this girl adds to her elegance. Very long-legged and very slender. Her show business-like attitude, the matching ribbon and leotard and hair, decoration, all add to the final look of the routine.
Totally different approach to this ribbon exercise from that of Irina Divina, her teammate. 6 years difference in age, but I'm sure they're going to have a tremendous battle when this sport comes into the Olympics in 1984 at Los Angeles.
Certainly has the grace of a ballerina through all the jumps and the leaps and the pirouettes. she still remains elegant and manages to smile all the way through. Not quite as easy as it looks. Magnificent. The audience really enjoy the performances of this young girl.
Olga Mostapanova, this beautiful young gymnast from Russia. Absolutely perfect there on her double back somersault. Look how well she interprets the music.
Choreographers really do select the music very particularly to suit the type of gymnast, and this really suits young Olga. Finishing with a double twisting back somersault, crammed with difficulty and interpreted really well to the music. Natalia Ilyenko, world champion on the floor exercise. Extremely elegant and quite a contrast to Mostapanova, who we've just seen. She almost looks like something off the top of a jewellery box. She's so dainty. And yet she still has the power to do a tumble run with 5 elements, finishing with a double twisting somersault.
Beautifully finished with a double twisting straight somersault, Natalia Ilyenko.
So that marvellous performance by world champion Natalia Ilyenko ends this 10th anniversary display by the USSR gymnastics team. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's performance. The next gymnastics on ITV will be the Coca-Cola International on the 3rd of January at midday in most ITV regions. But for now, from all of us here, goodbye.